All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into episode 22 of the Mind of a Coach podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Asa Duval. Got my good friend with me, Nathan Moran. Nate, how you doing today, dog?
I'm good, Asa. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm alive and kicking, can't complain whatsoever. What's been new with you? Anything going on down in Cleveland, Tennessee with Lee University?
Nothing new. No games last week. Got three this week.
Three this week?
Got one on Tuesday night, one on Friday and Saturday. So
Okay. Y'all tough teams coming up?
in our league, anything could happen. So we just saw Valdosta State lose to West Georgia, and West Georgia's been playing well too. So we just got to come out and play our game. And I think if we play the best we can, I think we have a pretty good shot against anybody.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'd say y'all do too, given the way y'all played recently. So,
who you guys got coming up?
We got SIUE at 1 o'clock on Thursday, which is a little odd time.
Let's get them back.
Man. Yeah, we need to we owe them one for sure, and then we got EIU on Saturday, so that'll be a 4.
We got them the first time though, didn't we?
Yeah, honestly, I believe we got EIU.
Okay.
So we, had a little rough weekend. Played two really good teams in Murray State and Austin Peay. Austin Peay, obviously, Terry Taylor, Player of the Year last year.
Man.
Guys got down pretty big in the first half, but they showed some heart and they didn't quit. They fought back in the second half. But you want to look back like, guys, look what we can do when we just don't quit. We don't give up. We keep playing hard. It's like, look at us. We went on like a 34-14 run in the second half. And missed we missed 11 wide open threes and missed 8 free throws and still went on that run and cut it to 7.
See, what's crazy about it is you can look at the guys and be like, guys, if you just do this in the first half.
I know, man.
You guys you guys could be what, 13, 14 and 0. I don't know how many games have you played in total?
Oh gosh, we're at about 8, 17, I think. 17. Maybe
wow.
Not that many.
I'm off.
Yeah, so.
Gotcha.
I don't know. You got a historical fact of the week for us?
I do. So I'm going to ask you, Asa.
Last week I did pretty good. Do I get to test my knowledge anymore? I kind of like that.
I'm definitely going to keep testing you here. So, who in NBA history has won the most NBA MVP awards?
All right. Jordan had 5, right?
He is second.
He's second with 5. Golly, it's got to be let's see, the most MVP awards. LeBron's got 4. Kobe only had 1, didn't he?
Yeah, because Steve Nash won that one where he was averaging 30 something.
Yeah. Okay, who's got the most? Golly, this is bad. Is it Kareem?
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah.
What's
he got? 6? Okay.
6, yeah. And then I think Bill Russell had 5 as well.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, well, I mean, some could make an argument that LeBron should have had more as well, though. So
LeBron certainly should have.
Bill had 5.
Had more.
Wilt Chamberlain had 4. Kareem had 5 or 6. Moses Malone had 3. Is what it looks like. Larry Bird 3. Magic Johnson 3. Jordan 5. Karl Malone 2. Tim Duncan 2. Steve Nash 2. And then.
All right, hey, I'm that's 2 weeks in a row. I've gotten your question right. Might have to come next week.
I thought that one was one that you were going to get, but
yeah.
But you kind of had to think about it for a second.
I did.
I was like, come on, Asa, you know this one.
I did have to think about that one. All right, Kareem, most NBA MVPs. Well, for what I got to get off my chest this week, I was going to come on here and talk about how Russell Westbrook was done. His career's over. We're never going to hear from him again. And then Garrison Matthews just single-handedly revitalizes the guy's career last night against the Nets and steals the ball from Kevin Durant, passes it to Russell Westbrook for a game-winning 3. So that's what I was going to talk about. But I'm just going to say shout out to Garrison Matthews, man. That guy is making winning plays, and they're not just by shooting the basketball either. So I'm not going to come at Russ this week. Maybe later on down the line, Russ, I'm coming for you. But, yeah, man, shout out to Garrison Matthews. That's good for him.
I'm not coming at Russ. I mean, he's a difference maker when he's out there and healthy. So the problem is that they got to start stopping somebody. I mean, I mean, 146, 149 last night?
Yeah, that was, I
mean, goodness gracious. But, yeah, I mean, Garrison's been this way. We know who Garrison is. Garrison's a winner. He's been that way since high school. I mean, probably before that. But I started knowing who Garrison was in high school and playing with him. And, I think that's one of the funniest things is like when you look back at it, you're like, Garrison played hard every single day. There was no like too cool, I'm too good for it. That's how he played. And it showed I mean, you could look at it and be like, well, the Wizards have only won 4 games out of, I guess they're 4-12, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe 4-13. I can't remember. But you could look at it like that. No, like the dude just like when he plays minutes, you can look at the plus minus. He's a winner when he's out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And
shout out
what's
Gary.
wild is, I mean, that was the same play, pretty much the same play he had or same pass he made in close to it to Kenny when y'all were playing NC State.
Yeah, and Kenny hit it. Kenny stole it. Kenny stole it. He passed it to Gary on the left wing, and then he passed it back to Kenny. And that one was even more of a shock because Garrison had 44 at the time.
Yeah, and he didn't.
No one would have been mad at him for shooting that thing. But,
unselfish plays, man. You got to make the unselfish plays if you want to get some wins.
Yep. So we just gave Gary his flowers. So congratulations, Gary. You're probably getting too much. So we need to start thinking about some negative things we can say about Gary.
Mm-hmm.
About his basketball game because he's just getting too many compliments right now.
I know.
Not good for him. Not good for him.
Yeah, we need to keep him humble. But all right, y'all. So we're gonna get into our conversation with former UNC-Asheville guard Ahmad Thomas. I played with Ahmad at Hargrave. That's where I met him, and he went on to be basically one of UNC-Asheville's best players ever. So hope y'all enjoy that. Ahmad's an awesome dude. It's gonna be a fun time. So looking forward to that one. Y'all stay tuned and enjoy it. Appreciate it. All right, man. Here we go. Ahmad Thomas, welcome to the show. Ahmad Thomas from Danville, Virginia, aka the Dirty. George Washington High School. Played post-grad at Hargrave. That's where I met you. Went on to Asheville. Had an incredible career at Asheville. You first team all SoCon twice, right?
Big South. Get that situated.
Oh, my fault. My fault. Big South, and then 2 times Big South Defensive Player of the Year. You had 251 career steals. You had over 700 rebounds, over 1,500 points. So an incredible resume. Also a trip to the NCAA tournament. Went on to play professional for a little bit in Canada. Not playing right now. Doing some AAU coaching. Man, how you doing, Ahmad?
Thanks for having me, guys. I'm doing great. With everything's going on with the pandemic and whatnot, I'm still here. I'm still making it. So I can't complain.
You still staying in shape?
No.
You trying to keep playing? You want to get back up there or what?
Well, not gonna say, hey, don't want to play. Really, it's just been on shut. I see Canada. When we found out we weren't going to come back in February, now they're waiting to see in March. So I've actually been lazy, man. I've been golfing, working at Lululemon, just living life, man.
Yeah. How was that? So you were in Canada you were last year, right?
And it was great, man, because basically Canada is just U.S. Everybody's over there you either play with or know. And it was, the league is great. It's just, they'll set you up by having back-to-back games versus, at that stretch of when, you're one of the top teams and it can cost you or something. But it's great just to be able to play basketball and doing it to get paid and travel and see things.
All right, cool. Talk to us. Hey, in high school, so you went to George Washington High School. You are LeBron at George Washington High School. My dad can attest to that. My dad went to a game with you one time. Did y'all have 48 dunks? And I heard y'all had like about 48 dunks in a game one time. Is that true?
I wouldn't say that. We definitely, my senior year, we definitely we didn't play around. We were one of a kind. Thomas Carr took over my senior year, and he came from Hargrave, which is one of AW's close friends.
Yep.
And it was. I'm telling you, it was a show. It was a show to where when it was my senior year time to go to lunch, we had fans already outside trying to buy early tickets. So it was like you had to get there, and man, it was a blast.
Who else did y'all had some players? Who else did y'all have on that team with you?
Had Gerard Williams, who went to Detroit.
Yep.
Jamarcus Harrison went to Cleveland State. I believe that's it.
Yeah.
Everybody else is, just guys that,
Mm-hmm.
tried to do it and, hit a few speed bumps and let them slow them down. Before me, though, we had C.J. Barksdale, who went to Virginia Tech. Rich McKeitha, who's went to Spain. Nick Barber, who went to High Point. I mean, we had some dudes come through there.
Yeah.
But my year, I mean, we just knew what it was, man. We was just tough, and Coach Carr had just put a different gear in our heads.
Yeah. All right. So I met you. Let's see. I met you in the summer before Hargrave started. Nate, you're like this. So the first time I met Ahmad it was AW was having his camp. So all the little kids were there. Ahmad's walking around in some foams that aren't tied. His shoes ain't tied, and Ahmad's just playing around with these kids. And I'm like, hey, dunk it. Ahmad just goes up, hadn't stretched or nothing. I mean, just hammers down a dunk. And I'm like, oh my gosh, man, what am I getting myself into? What went into your decision to go to Hargrave? And then we'll talk about your experience, because your experience was a little different than all of ours. So what went into your decision to go to Hargrave?
I was immature before going to Hargrave. I had offers, plenty of offers. I could have left and committed right away after GW.
Yeah.
But Coach Carr was like, man, we got a game plan set up. Go to Hargrave. It's not like you have to pay. You're going to be on scholarship. And me, I'm thinking like military. Man, I'm about to go to school and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Then, I realized like, you're not ready, Ahmad. I wasn't ready for the 6 a.m. workouts, the getting up. I just knew I wasn't. So ended up doing that. And, it changed me, after walking into Hargrave, staying there for the week. Of course I was a day student, but just, getting that life and, seeing it that what y'all had to go through and, us battling with each other, from me getting in trouble to selling dip to anything. Like, what from?
Hey, listen to this. So all the kids, Nate, you obviously you got in trouble at Hargrave a lot. So Ahmad was a day student. Ahmad didn't really have the same experience that we had. Okay, he was a day student, so he wasn't there through everything, right? So he got to go home at night. He could eat whatever he wanted. My dad even went out, took him out to eat one time, Buffalo Wild Wings. Meanwhile, we're all back at school dying over here. We can't get anything good to eat. Ahmad's out with him and his homeboys at Buffalo Wild Wings with my dad one night. It's ridiculous. So Ahmad didn't even really have to do that. Man. Tell us about your experience. Yeah, so Ahmad gets in trouble one time for selling dip to some of the little kids at the school.
I wouldn't say they were little kids.
They weren't the high schoolers.
They were old enough, and the guy had ended up getting caught. And besides him just saying, it was me, I went to the store and bought it. He just told on me. And our attack officer, rest in peace, Arnold Tucker.
Oh yeah, man.
One just like, man, I think he told. And I just remember those security officers coming out during our practice. It was like, we need a mod. Yeah. I'm like, oh my God, here we go. And AW looking at me like, don't tell me you did it. Doing it. The whole time I'm in there with President Boone, like, didn't do it. So I'm looking at the guy like he's on the other end of the toad, he's crying. So President Boone leaves out the room. Coach Martin might have grabbed me and said, dude, just tell the truth, man. It's okay, just tell the truth. I said, yeah, I did it. And I'm thinking like, man, I'm either about to get in trouble, I'm about to run like a dog. And I just remember AW was like, don't worry, we got him. And I think I had to run after practice. I think
we all had to run, didn't we?
No. He was like, we're going to run. He has to run a certain amount of suicides before he can play. Yeah. But in reality, he was just joking. But he had to make it seem like he wasn't. So the first day I ran, second day, it was like, all right, just run a few. And I wasn't getting timed. And then we went on to the game. I started, and I'm like, oh, yeah, whatever. We're good now. And that was it. That was my lesson. Like,
what did all right, so you said you were immature before you went to Hargrave. What did Hargrave teach you that you took on with you into college to be able to have such a successful career? What did you learn from Hargrave? Life's
hard, man. The day-to-day, you you're going. We basically went to somewhere like a college, and you got these, sergeants yelling at you. You got to be in formation, shirt tucked. And you're in these clothes that's tight. You're like, man, dude, this is ridiculous. You're basically the leaders because everybody else in that school are looking up to you. When they see the post-grad guys, they're like, oh, those are the post-grad guys. When it's anything, if you was you can have this, have that probably made their day.
Yep.
But, realizing like, I got to buckle down. School, it wasn't a problem. I had already had my ACT score, everything like that. It was just, me want to run the streets, want to, hang out, do what young men would do at that age. Wanted to do it, fit in, but it was like, nah, this ain't going to be it. Because when you look at the history of guys that came from Danville, and it was a whole lot of could have been, should have been.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I don't want to be that. I got a chance to go to school for free, something my mom or dad don't have to worry about. And that was it. Once I realized, like, you know what, I have to get serious. And I don't really think it clicked until I think we played Lewisburg and the CAW cry in the locker room about me. And I'm just like, oh, this is real.
Yeah.
I've never had this before, like a coach that I've only been with a few times. I mean, I've known him for quite a while, but this is real. So, and that was the turning point, seeing him cry. And we go back home and he sit there and grab me before I get out of the car. I was like, man, come on, we need you. And I'm like, I got you. And it just clicked.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about your time at UNC-Asheville. I'm super curious about this. So you did go to this military, I guess, what is it, academy?
Yeah,
Hargrave Military Academy. You go there and then you go to UNC-Asheville. Tell me a little bit about that transition.
Whew. It was weird. Was getting recruited by people way bigger than Asheville, and just one of those things to where I went on a visit on a weekday. You're usually going to go on a visit on a weekend so you can really get the college feel. So I go there, I'm like, okay, cool. Andrew Rousey, who was there before me, was like, we're real close. And he was my chaperone. And I'm just talking to him like, how you like it? So, man, I'm cool with it. I love it. And, I'm just there on a weekday. So I'm like, what we going to do? We go eat, go back to his room, play the game. And I'm like, no, this can't be college. No, something got to be going on. But then we play pickup the next day, seeing those guys, you're walking around and you just seeing the banners hanging up like, okay, they've been winning. That's it's either them or Winthrop. It's one of those. High Point every now and then, Charleston Southern, they split. And I'm like, it's Winthrop or High Point. Then I'm like, oh, well, look at Asheville. Asheville is up to something. And, at the time, Winthrop is recruiting me as well. And I'm like, man, I don't even know what to do right now. So I get in the film room, and the first thing I see was how they played. And I'm like, oh, this might be fun. Like this, I can see me doing this. And after that, I'm on the way back in the car, and I'm like, yo, I think I found my home. And my mom looked at me like, are you serious?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. Because Coach Dixon, who's the assistant there, gave me my first offer ever, which was at Presbyterian.
Mm-hmm.
So when he called me, found out that I wasn't signed yet, he was like, man, I'm here now. Like, you can come up on a visit. I've been in the loop. I know that you're probably thinking like, what are you doing? Like, why are you talking about UNC-Asheville? But this is where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
So I go. Came back, and that's when I told him, like, man, y'all can send that over. Like, do I need to fax it back to you? I'm going to sign this. And they're looking like, real? I'm like, yeah. So, at the moment, I had Hawaii, UNC Wilmington, VCU, all of them. And I'm just like, people probably thinking like, what are you doing, Ahmad?
Mm-hmm.
But it was home. I can't complain at all. All-time steal record there. Yep. Only player in Big South history with over 1,500 points, 700 rebounds, 250 assists, 250 steals. I got selected in the All-Decade for the Big South.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that. Yeah, that's a big time.
I mean, we won. You know, I've won
Yeah.
3 championships there. My freshman year we didn't win, but after that, man, it was a different type of program that we had. You know, we had guys. Take a look. My sophomore year, we probably had to be one of the youngest teams, you know, around. You know, we had a freshman, 2 freshmen. One ended up transferring to Arizona the next year. The other one, Dwayne Sutton, went to Louisville. Kevin Venata was a sophomore. I was a sophomore. And Sam Hughes was a junior at the time, and he was 6'5", 6'4" on a good day as our center. I was our 4-man. We biggest guy we had was Dwayne on the floor. He was our 3-man. He had to be 6'6". But we were just gritty, man. We the thing that switched on us is that we were, you know, when you see teams on the way, and you see the progress, and you're like, oh, they can be good. And we got good at the right time. You know, towards the end of the season, we started to gel, realizing like, yo, this is what we got to do. And then togetherness, you know, either we lost by one, won by one, anything, like you couldn't stuff in that locker room if you weren't with it. And realized that. So when we went to the conference tournament, another gear hit. You know, we beat Liberty by almost 50.
This is your sophomore year, right?
Sophomore year. We almost beat Liberty by 50. We turned around and beat High Point. And here we go playing Winthrop for the championship. And that my sophomore year, they had beat us by 3, and we had beat them by 3. And actually, I think that was the largest comeback in school history. When we played them at home, we came back and won. I think we were down like 24 with like 12 minutes to go.
Yeah.
And came back and won. And that's when we knew, like, yeah, this is it. So championship game, you know, they went up. I think they were up like 9 or something at halftime. And in the locker room, you couldn't hear nothing. Like nobody's talking. Everybody's just like, come on, let's get this thing going. So Dick walks in and looked around and was like, I don't think I have to say anything. So let's go. We win. Following year, we bring in Maceo Teague, who's at Baylor.
Yeah.
And, you know, we had a good freshman class coming in. You know, we didn't, and John Bear, who's at Clemson, you know, we just didn't know, you know, what was going to happen. And Maceo Teague and John Bear just did what they had to do, you know. And all the year, I get a whole nother class come in, you know, some of those freshmen and sophomore leave. So in reality, it was like, man, I never had a real team. You know, I had, of course, my class that came in with me, we were together. But when you look at it, you're like, hey, you only person I can say stayed was Maceo and John, but for 2 years. But other than that, it was still like, who's going to replace this guy? Who's going to replace that guy? But when people realized, you know, how together we were, we wasn't worried about, you know, who scored this, who scored that, you know, because sophomore year, I believe, our starting 5 all averaged 10 or above.
Wow.
So so you're like, man, dude, this is it. But then you play a team like Villanova, who's fundamental, hits you with the shot fake. You got to stay on your foot. But that's where you know, you kind of immature at, because you're all young. You know, you hear the scout, but you're like, man, they shoot it.
Right.
So up jumping, and they probably looking at us like, y'all didn't read the scout. But even when we did, you know, you get in the lane and that pivots was there, and you're just like, man, holy crap, like these are solid.
Yeah.
But they were so good to where the following summer, you know, we were in the gym doing pivot work, you know, working stuff they were doing. And I'm like, dude, this is unbelievable. But it was probably the best thing that happened to me, man. Like I'm sure if I went somewhere else, it'd be like, oh man, he was a good player. But there, I'm sure I can walk in there with my shirt off any day.
Yeah.
Whatever I wanted to, and they'll love me. And I love them. And it was a blast.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Dude, okay, so you got to tell me. So you're an AAU coach now, correct?
Correct.
What program are you coaching at?
Team Loaded.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about watching film that made you decide to go to Asheville, and do you pass that along to your kids now that are getting recruited by colleges?
See, the thing, so in the film, they ran the 4-out 1 in, and you could see the guy that he was trying to tell me to replace was Jerron Lane. He was a 3, sometimes put him at the 4. And just to see the stuff that he was doing, and you're like, dude, this might be cakewalk. Because every now and then, you know, he would have a a shorter guy on him or whatever, or a bigger guy, and it's like it's a mismatch. So I did that, and I'm looking like, dude, this is gonna be fun. But Coach Nick came into his coaching staff with Brett Carey and Sean and Logan. I guess they seen like, man, we got a kid that's 6'3.5", 6'4" on a good day, 7-foot wingspan. Like, we got to do something defensively.
Mm-hmm.
Probably shock it. So that's when we go into this 1-3-1, and we're just looking like, holy crap, like we're about to be good. Like,
Did you run the top of that 1-3-1?
The top, or I would go to the wing. So it's like, man, this is it. And to hear, like, when you're on the wing and, you hear the coaching staff when you're on the opposing side, and they're like, don't come to this side. And you're like, oh, okay. That's smart if you don't come over here. So now, when I'm looking at the film now, watching these kids, I'm trying to see, like, who's in it to win. I want to see, who's on the floor diving, who's, even when something going wrong, you're picking up your teammate, when you're just being a basketball player, who's going to make the right play? Not the home run play. I just want to turn down good for great. You might have a shot, one more swing it to the guy in the corner. That's going to be the great shot. He missed it. Oh, well, you did what you had to do.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm telling the kids now, we have a kid now, Josh Smith, who just got offered by Florida the other day, Michigan State. He's probably had the biggest spring that we just had recently, and tremendous. I mean, he's going to be a guy. But what I try to tell him is, like, don't just get caught up in the names.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Where can you go to still be Josh Smith?
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
You can say, oh, I got this offer, and you can go there, but are they going to allow you to be Josh Smith? Josh Smith is a dog. Josh Smith is a guy that's going to rebound, that's going to take charges, who's going to dunk, who's going to set screens and just be him. That's going to give 4 to 5 offensive rebounds. You're not a guy that's just going to catch it and back down and do all of that. That's not you.
Mm-hmm.
So don't. So now when you're looking at this film and stuff, don't just get caught up into, oh man, look at that big. He's just, no, you better watch everything. Like, they might have a few bigs that's, every now and then that's good, but this might be a more guard dominant to where you got to come up here and set these screens and it can't be you. You want to be able to pick and pop every now and then. Some people might not let you do that. Some people might say every time you set a screen, you better roll.
Mm-hmm.
Now, sitting back now, and people thinking, dang, whatever happened to that kid? Now he went there, man. Now he's transferring. This is his second school he's transferring to. And that's what I'm trying to tell him. Like, man, it's not about a name. It's all about what's in you.
Mm-hmm.
What's going to make you be great? What's going to make you sit there and say, man, I did it. Like, if I can sit there and be like, man, I gave it my all from when I walked in to the end to where now, like I did at Asheville, you can walk in there and they're like, man, there he goes.
Mm-hmm.
I can make a phone call and it's like, man, yeah, you can come on into town. We got you. Appreciate it. I want that to happen to the guys. I want it to where when it's time for me to go watch and play, they're like, man, coach, man, I got somebody that they going to put you in a hotel. Cool. Thank you. I appreciate it. Because when somebody was to call me and say, man, I want to go to Asheville, I got you. I'm going to go here, go there, tell them Ahmad sent you. If not, FaceTime me, show me. I got it's been there.
I'm telling you, Ahmad has some pool in Asheville, man.
You just think, like, when the SoCon championship is there and some of those people come in as Mercer and stuff, some of those people like, man, yo, where can we go? I'm like, go there. I'm like, tell them I sent you. Like, be good, do what you got to do. So then when they get there and they're like, man, I'm ready to FaceTime you. Come on, FaceTime me. So when they see it, people looking like, oh, yeah, man, appreciate it. You good, man. I told you, I got you. Like, no, I've done my dues,
Right.
So it's time for you guys.
How much does it mean to you now that you went to a place like Asheville, a place where you found a home, a family, as opposed to maybe just picking the biggest name? How much, how much did that mean in your life? Just finding a spot like that where you could be yourself and just flourish in that way. How much did that mean to you?
Oh man, it means a blessing, to be honest, because I think what we sometimes do when we're in that phase, we sometimes forget and don't, pay back to the people that made sure those long ass whoopings you just got from a big time team, or those little messages on Twitter or something that they don't think you saw, stuff like that, it goes a long way. So then when you get there and you're in the community and you're just like, you can be at Harris Teeter and somebody's walking up, man, hey, Ahmad, and you're like, hey, how are you? And you don't know what to say, but you're speaking. And, I'm sure that can happen anywhere. You go somewhere, Duke, Florida, Houston, anywhere, and you doing what you have to do, I'm sure everybody's going to recognize you.
Mm-hmm.
But being at a small school like Asheville, to where, everybody know UNC-Asheville is the main school there. So we're going to pack this thing out. We're going to see these people. Everybody know everybody. Our coach was from there. So, when we would go out, he already knew, hey, he'll text us like, hey, be safe. All right, somebody already texted me, told me you saw him. You looking like, dude, are you serious? Like, wait, like, what's going on? Like, okay.
Yeah.
So, when you get to my senior year and you're like, man, it goes by fast. So now you're sitting there like, man, what's next? And you
how fast does it go? How fast does it go?
Fast, because I'm telling you, I can remember my freshman day, man. I can remember it all. So it's like from sophomore, junior year, it goes and it happens fast. And you're like, hey, so, when you're sitting there and we're at the NIT and we go to overtime with USC and you're like, damn, this is it. And it doesn't hit me until I'm on the flight back home to Asheville. I'm like, damn, this is really it. Like, what's next?
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, finish up school, graduate, but what's next? Like, I ain't even thought twice about that. Like, so now you're getting those cards and you just getting fans just like, man, we're gonna miss you. And you're like, dang. And then when you getting those other ones, just like, man, this is always gonna be home, man. Whatever we have to do for you, just let us know. You're like, dang, this is it.
Yeah.
And after graduating, I went back and didn't tell nobody I was coming back to a game, and I'm just tried to ease my way in, sit in the stands, and I'm like, oh, you got to come to the floor here, buddy. Appreciate it, and I'm just like, man, like my senior class, that Raekwon, Kevin, Alec, Tyler, who's at Texas right now as a GA, like, I mean, we did it, man. Like, we were the winningest class. I mean, Raekwon, he was a walk-on for 2 years, and you would never know.
Yeah.
He's from probably like 30 minutes away from Asheville. And when I say that he torched whoever in practice day and night, then it translated in the game. And I would legit be like, Coach, we got to get this dude a scholarship or something. Like, this, this don't add up. Like, he's coming and just tearing apart anybody that we just put on scholarship. Like, we go down to Georgetown one day, and Georgetown had a play for their guard. And I kid you not, I believe he scored like 12 straight buckets in the same play. And it got so fascinating. I'm just looking like, holy crap. Like, dude, we gotta get that guy a scholarship. So, we go on, and the things he would do for us helped us actually win, because when we had to play those big guards, those guards that were good, he could score the ball wherever.
Yeah.
And by Kevin and Maceo and Dwayne, them having to guard him, they're like, man, we good now. And, the play that they ran in Georgetown, we was up on them, trapping and doing everything, and we ended up winning that game. And afterwards, he was just like, man, why did we win? I'm looking like Raekwon. That's why, because he did it. And, just to see when we walk in and everybody's eyes still light up and still like, we miss you. Like, hey, like, it was just feel like yesterday I was just here. It was just yesterday. I just finished, being Winthrop senior day and on for a championship, holding up the trophy. It feels like it, but you really don't think like it's that fast until you really sit down and just like, man, that went by.
Yeah.
I
think it's interesting how, like, for me, I know I appreciate our NCAA tournament run more and more every day, like the further I'm removed.
Mm-hmm.
And I think and I'm sure, Nate, you too, but you don't really understand what stuff like that, to be a part of a winning program in college, means. Like, And to do that, you have to care, every day you got to care. Your team has to value each possession on the court, each game. It all matters and it all adds up. And I think, like, if these kids can understand what it will mean to them later on to be a part of a winning program and make an NCAA win a conference championship, I think some of the things that they did day in and day out would change if they understood what it's going to mean to them down the road.
But you want to know something that's going to get you?
What?
It's foreign to them. All these people that it's foreign because they're not used to winning.
Right.
Yeah.
They're used to, video this, take a picture of this.
Right.
We didn't really have that.
Yeah,
we had all this life come in when we played Oak Hill or something like that, but it wasn't, this is it. No, it was go get it. It was 40 minutes of hell. That was our logo before we walked 40 minutes of hell. Yeah. And that's what we're going to bring to you. And, it's people don't understand it's fun winning, but it's hard.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
And it's hard because, you can go beat a bottom tier team one day, and you can go to their place where they probably sit 200, 300 people.
Yeah.
And now you're in the ball game and you're like, man, what in the world? Like, man, who told me this?
Yeah.
Or you can go play a team to where Winthrop, prime example, us and Winthrop, we knew back and forth. My senior year, they beat the snot out of us the first game on ESPN. I mean, the snot. And it was just like, damn, they picked us to win it, and they just did it to us. Oh my goodness! And and you're thinking in your head all the way, like, dude, this ain't right.
Yeah.
So we got slapped beginning of the year, and I don't think we didn't realize it until it. We can go in the film room and we dialed in, and we go out and we're like, okay, here we go. This is what we did, and then the younger guys, you can't really say much to them either because they're like, well, we don't know nothing about this. We don't know anything about winning. Mm-hmm. So now when you're in practice and you're in their ass and you see Kevin chewing them out or cursing them out, they're probably looking like, damn, why are you doing this? Mm-hmm. So then when they finally realize and like, oh, this is what it is. And now you see them locked in too to where they're like, oh yeah, we with y'all now, whatever y'all need us to do. So now these kids in high school, they've been on AAU. Oh man, I did this today, or I did that. They're worried about a retweet, a like, something just to do it to where, it's cool to be all of that. But then, what if it's all the advertisement has been selling you great. Now it's time for you to get out there. And now it's like, well, he's winning. He's doing that, but he's not winning. You know what?
Yeah.
Player, but that's what I want to see. And that's the way I've been recruiting this spring coming up is I want to see guys that's been those dudes that wear my shoes that didn't get that right look, or just gritty, that's just tough, that just want to win. Because I just think when you have enough guys that buy in from the top to the bottom, that's going to be there, that's going to hold each other accountable, to where you build a relationship where now if one fall, we all gonna fall and pick them right back up. Where one gets slapped, you can get slapped back, to where now I don't have to hold a chain on them, because I can let the chain go and say, be y'all. Because now that's a tough bunch to beat when you got a whole lot of togetherness, when you got somebody that loves it like them. Now you're like, damn, this ain't foreign, man. This our new norm. To where now when you lose, it's like, God damn, we should have lost, man. Why do we lose that? Like, because now when people lose, it's just like, we lost. Yeah, we lost. Us, it's like, damn, we just lost. Like, what the hell?
It doesn't matter. Yeah, sometimes it doesn't matter enough.
Because winning means more than anything else.
Right. So now it's like, dude, like, that gotta hurt. Like, let's correct this. Let's look at the film, to where I'm pretty sure a lot of people, when they're looking at film, it's like, okay, I see it. To where now because what we were doing in film, Coach Nick, he would literally tell me and Kevin, like, hey, I don't want y'all talking. Because we would spot out when teams were running a certain play that was similar to ours. He was like, that's the play right there. Are y'all paying attention? And I'm looking like, damn, like, yo, am I don't want to be looking at this type of stuff? Because in my eyes, whoever that I'm looking at that play my position and another position, I got to see, like, damn, why they good? Like, what's their go-to move? Every film that they have hit a shot, what did they do more? Or shot that they missed, let me see why they missed. Like, I like to see that. I like to see go back and look at the film of when somebody that's an all-conference player had a bad game. Like, let me see why they had a bad game. What did this team do different? You know, or what did we do when this dude had 20 against us? Like, what made him? And I'm looking like, man, something in here. So when you're looking at that stuff and you tell them like, yo, watch in and out, watch this and that, now they're looking at you like, damn, he know my whole move. Yeah, we know it. Like, don't think about it because I'm looking. So now, like if guys at a young age, let's say really young, but when they in the high school and they buy in and they're committed to it, now you're like, dude, it's gonna be easy because it's gonna wake you up freshman year when you walk into that door and you think everything is just as smooth because you had got the offer and all these dudes here and all of there. Now when it's time to play in the real world, it's like, well, I'm not ready.
Yeah.
It's got a red shirt you or might have to let you go halfway. You know, I don't want that. Nobody wants that, but it happens. And that's the thing. So that's what I'm saying. It's very foreign to a lot of these people what winning is.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, Ahmad. So I do 3 keys every week. I used to do them very early on. I did 3 keys of what I thought was important in a certain aspect of basketball. Now, as I have said, the past, 10 weeks, 12 weeks, Asa, I give it to someone that is smarter than I. You are now that person today. So, Ahmad, I'm very curious. What are your 3 keys to A, transitioning from a college basketball player to a professional basketball player, and B, transitioning from a player to a coach? I know, on the spot. I didn't even tell you this beforehand. I love putting people on the spot. Hey, so don't I?
Absolutely, you do.
Absolutely.
From college to professionally, what translates? What are the 3 keys? One is faith. The reason why I say faith is because the same person that made you who you are is the same person that can take it away from you. And I think we sometimes can slip up and not give him enough praise for that being in that position.
Yeah.
So, and I think also too, working hard, hard work, even the days when you can't even, don't want to get up, don't want to get that extra rep in, it's just days like that to where that plays a big part. And then 3, it will probably be trusting. And that's just trusting your family, trusting your agent, trusting the process, because I'm telling you, it's a thing to where me personally, being the person who I was in my conference, seeing guys that I've destroyed, seeing stuff like that, pick up contracts before I did or at better places, it's like, dude, what's going on? Yeah. And you're like, man, this ain't too good here, I did that to him. What did I do wrong? But that's kind of one of those immaturity things, because now wouldn't say basically hating, but now you're trying to like, man, I did this better, did that better. But then you're realizing like, you know what? Let me trust this. Something good is going to come to this. I go to England and Newcastle, win MVP. And the second, right before the second game, they released. I'm like, dang, what did I do? And so now you're back to, man, I'm about to lose faith in here, because now you're like, man, this ain't it, man. I'm about to lose everything. Like I just went over here far away from home. So then,
how do you handle getting let go as a player? How do you handle that?
I'm gonna say what it's like. It's like, when your mom or dad, when you're out somewhere and you think that you're supposed to get something and you pick it up at a toy or something, and it's probably the biggest thing that you've probably been thinking about all day, and they say, no, you're not getting that. Yeah. And you out of there so sad, or they then jerked it away from you, put it back up, you're like, oh my goodness, my heart just shattered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get in that car the whole ride and you're just sad, just go to sleep. It's like, I'm telling you, it's just like that. But then it's reality though. reality. So it'll slap you fast. Like, come on, wake up, move on.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't stop. I had to keep going. So I go on to Luxembourg to where that team was in third place, I believe. And I'm there, and the coach, I'm gonna tell you right now, the coach probably didn't have faith in me.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now because I can get a sense of how he were acting. The GM, on the other hand, basically pulled me in and said, man, listen, do what you do. The same person that I saw in the film you played at Asheville, I just want you to be him. So they said, man, we're going to put you at the 2 to 3 to 4, wherever you want to play. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's a bet. First game, I had 28 and, wasn't the best shooter coming out of college or whatever, but it was one of those things that I probably could improve better. But I get to Luxembourg, and you would have thought that was my specialty. I go. My first game I went 6 for 10 from 3. The second game I had 38, 7. I'm telling you, it was crazy. So they're looking at me like, hey, what in the world? So I think we lost the game. And me, I'm not one of those guys that want to just jack. I want to get everybody involved. So one of the Luxembourg guys that's on the national team, like, we would work out separately. He told me, he's like, man, listen, man, just keep doing what you're doing. He was like, we love what you're doing. He was like, we get that you want to get involved. He was like, but get yours if you have to. He was like, but we also got to win. I said, well, y'all we keep getting the ball then. So I hope y'all ready.
Yeah.
We're in second place at the time, and the team that we needed to loses. And the GM calls us in, was like, guys, I know we had to place top 2. If we place top 2, we go into another division. And I'm like, oh, so that means more money for me and a bonus. I'm thinking like that. I'm like, man, I need some money too. I'm already spending money on gas, food. This ain't, come on now. So end up winning it. And we have a party at the end, and our GM was like, comes up front, and he was like, man, Gavin, you didn't have faith in me on this one, but I told you, man, he was going to get us there. And I'm looking like, look at this. So the following year, it's like, man, we want you, but I don't think we can give you enough money. And I'm like, okay. So now I'm in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, this is it. Like, I'm about to get some money now after this. Mm-hmm. Reality slapped me again. Get back. And I'm like, dang. So I go to Canada. Perfectly fine. So I'm like, man, I had just fractured my hand, but he still let me come over there. And I'm like, man, this is a blessing. Like, this is unbelievable. Like, you don't get too many coaches that's going to say, man, you hurt. Come on over here. We got you. Mm-hmm. He came, like, man, I got you. We can't sign your contract, but we're going to pay you. I'm like, I don't care. Like, you tell me I can sit right here with this brace on, go to the game, that's what we're doing. So I go to Canada, do it. And I'm like, dude, okay. Now I'm trusting it. My faith is there. I'm working hard. I'm like, okay. To where now I'm ready to start. And then the pandemic hit, so it shut us down. So I'm like, here we go. So now we transition to over being a professional to a coach, to where it's the same thing, to where, you got to trust the people that's in your circle. And you gotta hold everybody accountable. Mm-hmm. And it goes back to those two things. But if I had to say my 3 F's, it would be family, faith, and friends. And I think when it comes being that to coaching, those 3 things is what's going to do it. Because once again, faith, he's the reason why this is happening. Mm-hmm. Your friendship, people don't understand, like, who you're around, who you be with 24/7. People see that. So if you're with people that's out here being the wild people, and you're with them and you're always caught up in them, now they're looking like, not a good look, everybody. And now you do something and people don't understand, they see the name on the front, but when you see your last name Duvall, when you see Thomas, when they see Nate or whatever, they're like, man, that's such and such cousin, that's such and such son. Mm-hmm. Now you're thinking like, damn, I just did that to my family. Mm-hmm. I think when you have that, when you're going into a coaching world, to where now can't nobody really get in there unless you're really close with them, that you know that you can depend on, that's a family guy that's going to, be there, that you can hold accountable. Now you're like, man, we're going to build something great. Now, and that's really it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, real quick, a couple more things. I want to do some rapid fire questions with you, and then I want you to talk to us about is team. You said team loaded. Are you still doing Team Marie, or is that two separate things?
I'll tell you that. You come on.
All right. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and do some rapid fire questions real quick, and then you can talk to us about AAU. All right. You ever been kicked out of a game?
Yes.
What for?
Cursing at the ref.
Foul up 3 or let it play out?
Foul up 3, let it play out. Depends on who has the ball. And the reason why
They got the ball.
No, what I'm
You
saying.
saying player?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right.
If you said, if you're up 3 and you foul?
Yeah.
That's what it depends on who has the ball. It depends on what they're doing. If they have the ball side out, then no, you're gonna have to play that thing up.
All right. Rapid fire. You don't get a chance to explain yourself.
Hey, I had the same thing, Ahmad. The first time you started asking these rapid fires, I was like, hold up, there's a lot that goes into this.
It's just I know. It's a tough rapid fire one. Leave your best player in with 2 fouls in the first half.
Correct.
Yes, you leave them in.
I am.
Go for the tie or go for the win.
Go for the win.
Early morning practice or evening night practice?
Early morning.
If you could not be in the world of sports or coach basketball, what would you want to do?
Special education teacher.
Okay. And then what's you played a little bit of golf too. What's your handicap in golf?
Can't tell you.
What'd you shoot last time you went and played?
98.
98. Okay.
Hey, you're up there around me.
Yeah. Should every team make the conference?
Tough.
Should every team make the conference tourney?
No.
LeBron or Jordan?
Jordan.
You a Jordan guy?
Not, but it's Jordan.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. All right, man. All right. There's our rapid fire questions. And then real quick, talk to us about I want you to tell everybody about the video, the Team Marie video, and then I want you to talk about Team Loaded. Just give us a little preview of upcoming AAU season.
You got the video?
I was going to put the link in here in the description or something, but I've seen it. Yeah. Talk to us about give us a preview real quick about AAU with Team Loaded, and then talk about Team Marie real quick. Just a couple minutes.
So Team Loaded, North Carolina, where we'll be doing. I used to play with Team Loaded Virginia. So what happened was, once the pandemic hit, we were going to actually be Team Loaded North Carolina, but with all of that, the gauntlet, nothing's going on. While I'm in Canada, Thomas Carr sitting at home, drawing up a plan like he always does. And I get back home, he was like, man, I got a 501 for us. And I'm like, oh, dude, like, I'm not ready to raise no money. Like, I'm not ready to type up no ladder or anything. He's like, man, dude, he was like, if you want to help some kids out, he said, let's start. Like, this is the stuff that when you look back on it, you can be like, you know what? It worked.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sitting there writing this letter. And in the letter, I'm just like, dude, like, what do I say? Like, who am I sending this to?
Mm-hmm.
Like, to your people in Asheville. He said, if you are who you say you are, they got us. And I said, you're right. He was like, and I'm gonna do my part. He said, we're gonna be good. So type the letter out and we send it. I didn't send it, but to one person so he can look at it. Just say, man, what you think about this? A few days later, I get a call from a guy on ABC, like, hey, we want to do a news report on you. I'm like, okay, what's going on? It's like, oh, the mentorship. I'm like, no, he did not. So now I'm getting random calls, voicemails. Hey, Mom, I want to talk to you about the Team Marie. And I'm like, oh, man, this is about to be a headache.
Mm-hmm.
And a headache turned out to be a blessing. We did it Team Marie because, one, Coach Carr's daughter is Tegan Marie Carr, and we did it after her. Anything that we're doing is going to be after her. And he was a great coach. Probably can still coach at a Division I level, but
because he was at ETSU for a little bit, wasn't he?
At ETSU, went to UNC, went to state. He was going to be at NC Central just to do it, but he was in a position to be a great coach or a great dad. And at the time, with his circumstances, he had to be a great dad. So he took a step back and said, you know what, this is what I've been missing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we did. Like, that's what we do. You know, we can do everything through Team Marie. And We go, and I'm like, so what do you need me to do? It's like, man, you're going to have the 16s. I'm going to have the 17s. So the 17s, we basically rented players from teams all over that if they wanted to play, we would go down to Rock Hill, South Carolina, because the Hoop State had this big phenom basketball tournaments, and in South Carolina, fans could come. We do that. My 16s, I could probably say were probably the best 16U in the state of North Carolina. And we went 27-4. We beat CP3. We beat Atlantic Express. You know, we beat some dudes, man. And we lost Team Charlotte to a sudden death at a free throw.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, at a free throw. We lost to Team Curry. I wasn't there. Lost to Team Curry by 1 at a buzzer beater. We lost to EAB from
That's a Nashville team.
Yeah, we lost.
Yeah.
We lost to them by 4, and then I think that matter of fact that's it.
Yeah.
And we beat Garner Road. I mean, we beat the crap out of some people.
Yeah.
That you thought. So when you see our team, you're probably thinking like, how are they doing it? Josh Smith was the head of the snake. Then I had Jaquan Moore, who's the other head. Jaquan Moore got hurt. He's 2023, but probably the best 2023 in the state of North Carolina. But Josh Smith is the number 2 player. Deontay Green, who played with our 17 from Asheville, North Carolina, is number 1. But I told Josh, I said, listen, we're going to be good as long as you're Josh Smith. Like we're basically setting this up for you. We want you to be a dude. You know, he's been on teams to where EYBL teams to where he didn't have to show up every game. He can come in for 2 minutes and get a dunk, and then he's back off the bench on the bench, and those guys in front of him like, oh, we got this. To where now, you know, with us, you had to show up every night. You had to be accounted for. You had to do this, you know. And when he realized it off the rip, once he like, man, yo, we about to have fun. So the guys around him were even better, because now you got guys that you probably would have been like, why is he playing? To where, why has Ahmad got him in the game? To where now I'm looking at everybody like, that's why I got him in the game. And it worked.
Yeah.
You know, and now it's like, what did we just do? Now, you know, you got Under Armour reaching out. You got, you know, Nike trying to do something. So we're sitting there like, this just went bananas. Like something that we probably weren't expecting. But thanks to a lot of people in Asheville for donating, and whoever, as far as on Thomas' side, they allowed that to happen, because, you know, we knew with the pandemic, a lot of these kids won't be able to travel, won't be able to do that. You know, we raised enough money to where we went to Legends in Myrtle Beach for a week, had a tournament there, and I played probably the most golf ever that whole week because of it. And, you know, we were able to go back and forth to Rock Hill and play those guys. You know, they loved it. You know, we were able to go to Atlanta. We were able to just be able to be something for those guys. Yeah. And to see that kind of open up minds as well to like, man, this coaching stuff might be it for me. You know, is it? And now I'm sitting there like, what's next? You know, and I'm on a Zoom call, probably around the same time, and there, and Thomas Clark like, all right, we got to meet with Team Loaded. And I'm like, all right, cool. You know, I don't know I'm getting this head coaching job. Don't have a clue. All right, coaching staff for 14, 15. He's like a 16U. Ahmad. I'm like, Ahmad, wow. Like this is the gauntlet now. This is some big stuff. I'm looking like, uh-oh. And, you know, what he's doing is put me in position to where he knows I want to get in the college world. He knows, like, man, this dude wants, like, the stuff that he does, the recruiting that he's doing. Middle of the night, I just text him out of nowhere, like, dude, like, we have this dude, this is what I'm going to run him off of, you know, just stuff like that. And he's looking at me like, boy, you got it now and down. I'm like, man, I'm trying. And it's a blessing to be able to be a part of an organization that you used to play for. You know, a lot of people can be like, oh, I played for them and this and that, and you think about it, man, the people that came through Team Loaded, I mean, Frank Mason, Andrew Rousey, Bam, Dennis
Yeah.
Smith, just a group of guys to where now, on the North Carolina side, we're trying to get back to the Bam and Dennis days, to the
Mhm.
Caleb Martin, Cody Martin.
Yeah.
We want to get back to that because on our side, as far as the Virginia team on the side, it's always been rolling since, they were Petersburg elite to where when my team won the Fab 48 in Vegas to where, they've been winning. So now it's like, what we did with Team Marie is what we have to do with Team Loaded, but a different notch.
Cool.
What I'm starting to realize is that high level of recruitment of what you got to do now. Because now you can sit there and say, "Oh, come on, come play." You see what we did, this and that. Like, no, you got to be ready to be a college coach somewhere. You got to be able to reach out to mom and dad. You got to be ready to check in on the kid. You got to be ready to we watch some of the kids, well, majority of all the kids film, and we jot down the stats, what we thought they could have did, should have did better, and send it to them. They're probably looking like, wow, like y'all paying attention.
Right.
To where sometimes, like, I just drove to Asheville week and a half ago to see Deontay and this other kid I want, and they're looking at me like, dang, like this middle of the day, like I'm here, like like I'm sure nobody else in this world is doing this, and that's where I think that's where a lot of kids, some would take it for granted, some it's like, yo, there's some good people because now you have it to where EYBL people probably, oh, we can do this, do that, to where now they put a title on these kids to where, like, hey, you do that, you can't do this. And he's like, oh, are we doing that to these kids? Like, come on. Like, they're kids. You should be able to, like, if that's where you want to go there. We still here. We ain't going to treat you bad to where now if the kid was to probably leave the organization, they're probably like, oh, crap him. Probably put his name in the dirt. Kid probably never done anything wrong to him. To where now it's like, hey, why you doing this to the kid? And that's the stuff that has to, that it will never be, get rid of it because it's going to always happen because that's what's entitled with it. It's like basically the blue blood school. It's you don't want to go there. It's going to always be that, and I love it because now when these kids, when they calling me, asking me questions, and I'm spinning right back at them like, what you think about this? And they're looking at me like, huh? Like, yeah, exactly. This. I know stuff. I ain't go to the Dukes, the state, none of that. And I went to UNC-Asheville, but you can type my name in on Google every now and then, and you see some good stuff. You can come in. I ain't all of that. So
hey, all right, hey, we're gonna have to cut you off for time's sake, real quick. But man, I appreciate you coming on. It's a blast to talk to you. Nate, I'm gonna do the Twitter thing real quick. So Ahmad, you were on Instagram that's at Mahdi MHADIII 14, right? And then
man, it's me.
Twitter is just at Mahdi MHADIII. And then Nate, you're on Twitter at Nate5_Moran, Instagram at Nate5_Moran. I am on Instagram at the Ace of Spades with a Z on the end, and we are at Mind of a Coach 1 on Twitter, and then we are at Mind of a Coach on Instagram. That's right, Ahmad. Hope, throw it up, man. All right, dog. Hey, man, for real, it was a pleasure. Best of luck to you and Team Loaded this AAU season. And I'm gonna put that the link to the Team Marie Hoops video. I'll put it in the description or somewhere because I watched that documentary. It was really cool. Coach Thomas Carr is an awesome dude. Y'all got a good thing going up there. So best of luck to y'all. We thank y'all for tuning in, and we will see y'all next week. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. See you soon. See you soon, Nate.
All right. Okay. So I'm in my hotel room. We're on the road right now. And Nate and Ahmad have no idea I'm going to do this. I haven't even finished the editing yet, but I have a speech that Ahmad gave at Hargrave that I recorded on my old iPad. So I had to go back to my iPad. It hadn't even been turned on in over a year. I had to go back. I found it. I deleted a bunch of stuff, and I was able to email it to myself. So I'm gonna put one of a couple of little excerpts of one of Ahmad's speeches. And just for y'all at the end of the podcast, because it's too good not to share. Ahmad is hilarious. He gave a great speech. Nate has no idea I'm doing this. Ahmad doesn't know. So I just wanted to put this in at the end just for a little something fun. So I hope y'all enjoy it. Again, appreciate y'all tuning in each week. Tell your friends, have them share it. We're just having fun with this thing. So I appreciate y'all tuning in, and we will see y'all soon. Enjoy this this Ahmad speech from back. This is back in 20. Let's see, this had to be 2013 or 2014. So y'all enjoy it. Have a good one.
In this generation, people are too worried about what the next person gonna say. That next person ain't gonna get you the way you want to be in life. Because one day that next person gonna have to work for you one day. So somebody say, I'm claiming it.
I'm claiming it.
Oh, don't get me. God put you in this battle just to see how you gonna react. But I can tell you, my God, oh my God, He will bring you out. Ooh, can I get amen?
Amen.
How many of you know it's been a time when you thought you just couldn't make it the next day, but God came in and did His job? How many know that? Oh, how many know that God will never turn His back on you?
Amen.
Change is coming. Somebody say change.
Change.
Somebody say change.
Change.
Ooh, somebody give Him praise. Somebody give Him praise.
Woo.
Praise. Oh, shana. But it comes at some point in life, you have to wake up and notice it. If something isn't the way you want it, just know God may not come when you want it, but He's always on time. Bow your heads real quick. Lord, just thank you. Thank you for touching me this morning for these little 10 minutes to bless somebody out in this audience, Lord. Just thank you for putting this message on the table for me and let me eat it and share it with these young men, Lord. I just want to praise you. I just want to thank you. In your mighty name, amen.
Amen.
God bless you. Thou fear Him and walks with Him, no matter what. God gonna protect you. Gonna put a shield over you, son. Somebody say shield.
Shield.
Come on, Mr. Lord. Somebody say shield.
Shield.
And it's something because God has promised you something, and I don't believe that God is not gonna keep His word because this said we may day and do for tonight, but listen, joy, joy, is coming in the morning. Amen.
I really wish I would have went before that now.
Page